Hello, I hope you're doing well. Welcome back to another Fortnite patch breakdown. I hope you guys all enjoy. Should be a very fast episode. It's going to be patch 7.1, update number 3. I know, it's been a crazy update on in this patch as well. The third one so far. This is one of the longest patches we've actually seen currently. On top of that, though, it does seem Epic is taking a brand new step in the right direction in terms of sharing with us the general assessment of these updates before they even come out. It's actually their lead designer, that being Eric Williamson, is now taking to Twitter. I'm not sure if he'll keep on doing this in the future. He's done it only a couple times in the past where he's hinted at things, but this time forward, he actually just came forward and said, here's what's going to happen. He didn't give us the actual, the general specifics. He just gave us the broad context of what was actually being changed, and well, all of it did come true. And some huge updates many of you guys knew about, we talked about yesterday, as well as you heard some leaks out there of the Silent Sniper. It will be here doing 100 or 105 damage for its epic and legendary variants, which does mean, I'm pretty sure, a one-shot headshot. If you want to bring the resurgence of the bushes back or the balloons back, a big update for sure. We'll see how it plays out, and I'm sure we'll have some weapons balances soon for this weapon, but it does seem to be a great addition so far. No huge backlash like we've seen with some other ridiculous weapons so far. On top of that, though, and some big news, but I think a majority of us can actually agree with and actually favor, the dual pistols are now back. Peculiarly enough, though, they're actually back with the same stats which they were actually vaulted with. So we'll see in this current meta if they're still going to be OP, especially in that close range combat, and we'll see if they actually need buffs or nerfs correspondingly in sometime in the near future. But also on top of that, in terms of vaulted weapons out there, a huge list, not a huge list, but a great list, I would say. The 6-shooter has been vaulted, sick. Burst rifles vaulted, absolutely sick. I'm glad those are out of there. And on top of that, some other big updates. Dynamite has been nerfed in terms of drop rate. Nothing else has actually changed opposed from that, but I think we all can agree it was getting way too easy to actually stack your Dynamite out there, and in 6 or 9 stacks, it was found in pretty much everywhere, especially when I go to Polar Peak, I found it everywhere. So I would say a much needed update there. And alongside that, guys, boom boxes have also seen huge nerfs, not only their drop rate, but also their health, and also the actual durability, endurance they actually last for, from 25 seconds now to only 18 seconds. I still think going to be a very viable weapon, especially when it comes to competitive play. Alongside that, 400 health still seems pretty strong, so I would not be surprised in our next patch to see further nerfs of the boombox. But like I said previously, guys, these are all updates and balances in the right direction. And also, very lastly, but probably most importantly for this update, guys, another nerf for planes. Now, we could probably all argue we want to see planes gone forever, but we've seen in the past precedents in terms of mobility and vehicle-wise, most vehicles actually stay in their patches or their updates until the entire season is actually played out. So expect planes to be here the entire season, unfortunately enough, but that's probably why Epic is continuing to nerf these things and try and make them useless. Although they're going, I know I've said it way too many times, in the right direction, it seems to be they're still going to be pretty useful, especially in competitive play, and we'll definitely see our next big tournaments. The Australian Open's coming up for Fortnite tournament, a $500,000 prize pool we talked about last episode. We will see how planes do play out after this latest update because they were nerfed pretty hard. And I think the two most important ones, first of all, an increase in spread for the machine gun fire for that plane increased by 70%. That's a huge increase in spread and might make that initial damage very hard to do. Also, most importantly, is player knockback has been reduced by 70%. Now, many of us have been hit off mountains or hit off large builds. We take a ton of fall damage from planes. That might be reduced in some situations, although when you're in a 1x1, when you're on top of a mountain way up high, when you're hit off the edge, it's hard to see this actually being really effective in terms of that knockback reduction being 70%. That's going to save you in widespread areas. If a plane's hitting you in a of course a wide area that you actually have to stay on, but if you're on top of those 1x1s, you're on top of those mountains, a knockback reduction of 70%, although it probably will help, will probably not save you in those situations where you needed saving from in the past, if that does make sense. Although it's a great nerf in itself, I don't think it's going to be near as effective as the machine gun spread, and even then, that might not be very effective. But also on top of that, some other news out there, we actually have increased damage to these planes from breaking down structures by another 50%. It was actually last update, they increased that by 50%. This time, another 50%. Will this be enough to stop the planes? They are breaking down faster, but they're still not breaking down very fast by breaking through structures. Let's just be honest, you can break through structures quite a bit and actually still be fine. It's when players shoot at you, that's when you really take the true damage. So alongside that, guys, very lastly, a kind of an interesting update here, they've actually reduced their spawn rate from 100% to 80%. So every plane hub has 3 planes. Nowadays, we actually might see some hubs with 2 planes. In very rare cases, we might see some hubs with 1 plane. So I do like this update. There will be 20% less planes in the game, so a great move there. I've said it way too many times before for all of you guys. I would say a great nerf all in all. We just had to see how this knockback reduction actually does play in, as well as the machine gun spread, how that actually affects the plane itself. I would say great nerf so far, but the planes, they're still here. But nonetheless, Epic is obviously trying to go in the right direction. I cannot wait to see how this update does play out. And of course, with our next big patch, we're going to see some big updates. So this is again update number 3 of the same patch. Our next patch should be a very big one. Remember, hoverboards are supposed to come out. They've delayed those now by 2 weeks, so it must be a pretty big update if they're delaying those, and hopefully some other things planned with those hoverboards coming sometime soon. But as always, my name is Jake. Hope you guys all enjoy this patch 7.1 breakdown. I'll see y'all back here sometime soon at Fortnite news or drama. As always, I'll see you then.